Let's get right into it. There's this huge question hanging over all of our heads right now. Is AI coming from my job? The hype is, it's kind of over. Now it's time to talk about what's really happening and what's coming next. Okay, just picture this for a second. It's a totally normal morning, right? You're making coffee, you're thinking about the meetings you have, the emails you need to send, just a regular day. So you sit down, you open your laptop, and the inbox starts to load up. You're expecting the usual stuff, project updates, a note from your boss, a bunch of calendar invites. Standard procedure. But then you see it, an email that just stops you in your tracks. Your role has been eliminated, and it's not because the company is struggling or because of a bad quarter. Nope, it's because an algorithm can now do what you do. For thousands of people, this isn't some sci-fi plot. This is their reality. This exact thing happened at Block, the fintech company. We're talking about nearly 4,000 people being laid off. That is a massive chunk of their workforce. And the reason they gave? Well, they weren't shy about it. It was incredibly direct. The CEO, Jack Dorsey, he came right out and said it. A smaller team, equipped with AI, could not only do more, it could do it better. This wasn't just another corporate layoff. This was a signal to everyone in the entire industry. And this is where it gets wild. The second that news broke, just look at what happened to Block's stock. See that huge spike? That's Wall Street. That's the market's reaction. They weren't just okay with replacing thousands of people with AI. They were actively cheering for it and rewarding the company. So you have to ask, why did the market celebrate that? Well, to get that, we need to look at the cold, hard numbers, the economic incentive that's driving all of this. Because what happened at Block, that wasn't a one-time thing. It's becoming the new playbook. Think about every layoff announcement we've ever heard before. It was always tough market conditions or we're restructuring, right? But this was different. For the first time, a huge company explicitly said, AI is why. That is a fundamental change, and you can be sure that every other CEO was watching and taking notes. And this right here, this lays out the new logic for investors perfectly. It's a simple and, frankly, a brutal calculation. You replace human salaries with a piece of software, your costs go down, your profits go up, and that makes your stock price climb. If you're running a public company, that kind of logic is almost impossible to fight. Now, before we just paint these companies as the bad guys, it's really important to understand the system they're in. Public companies have a legal duty to create value for their shareholders. So when a tool like AI comes along and promises a direct path to doing just that, it's not really an option for them. It's more like a mandate. This is just pure capitalism colliding with automation on a scale we've never seen before. Okay, so if this is happening, if this trend is basically unstoppable, what in the world does that mean for you, for your career? And this brings us to what I think is the most critical part of this entire conversation. Because the real fight isn't you against some robot. This is the question, isn't it? This is what everyone's thinking. In this new world that's taking shape so fast, which jobs, what kinds of skills are actually on the line? The real vulnerability here isn't about a specific job title. It's about a type of work, repetitive knowledge work. Just think about any part of your job that follows a clear, predictable pattern. Running the same kind of report every week, writing similar lines of code, answering the same customer questions again and again. That's the stuff that AI is getting incredibly good at. So, if AI is going to handle all the repetitive stuff, that leads to a much more interesting and way more important question for all of us. What can it do? What are the human skills that actually become more valuable when the machines are doing all the grunt work? And this is the other side of that coin. An AI can't lead a team through a really tough time. It can't come up with a truly new, groundbreaking business strategy. It can't build genuine human trust with a client. These skills, real leadership, deep strategic thinking, making complicated calls, this is the new premium. This is what's in demand. And that brings us to what might be the single most important sentence in this whole explainer. The future of work isn't a battle between humans and AI. The real competition, the real dividing line, is going to be between the people who learn how to use AI and the people who don't. So for this last part, let's just zoom out for a second and see where this moment fits in history. Because what we are living through right now, it's happened before. But there's one key difference this time. Look, this isn't the first time technology has completely turned the job market upside down. The Industrial Revolution, that was all about displacing manual labor, the work done by people in factories. But the AI revolution, look at the target. For the very first time, it's aimed squarely at cognitive work, the jobs and offices that up until now we all thought were pretty safe from automation. So that brings us to the real question we all need to start asking ourselves. It's not, will AI take my job anymore? The real question is, are you going to be replaced by the system, or are you going to become the person who controls the system? And that's the bottom line right there. The time when you could just coast by doing repetitive, average-level tasks, that's ending, and it's ending fast. This massive shift in technology isn't getting rid of the need for humans. It's just raising the bar for what a valuable human contribution actually looks like. Look, I get it. All of this can feel pretty intense, maybe even a little scary. But every huge technological change in history has created incredible new opportunities for the people who are ready for it. The key isn't to fear AI. The key is to understand it. And if that's why you're here, then you are absolutely in the right place.
Thanks for tuning in.